In the new episode of Sports Nation, we will visit a star kokpar tournament where actors and musicians participate. We will talk to the captain of the national fencing team, Elmir Alimzhanov. At the end of the episode, we will go to the most famous triathlon school in Kazakhstan. We have an unusual start to today's episode. The fact is that we are at the national kokpar tournament among artists. Yes, it happens that way. Musicians, actors, artistic people in general have gathered on the field for the most brutal game in the world. We are doing a review. Let's go! Kokpar is not just entertainment. Several centuries ago, the game was used to harden the martial spirit in men. Kokpar is often called a symbiosis of wrestling, rugby, and horseback riding. Now it is also a real show, especially when the participants include Kazakhstani stars. Akan Sere, Ukule Abrai, Sakin Sifulin were artistic people who were confident in the saddle. Therefore, there is nothing new in such a tournament. We just continue the traditions of our ancestors. Onir Kokpar is held on such a scale for the first time. 9 teams came to the capital. Each team includes well-known artists, and the most star team is perhaps the team from Almaty. It started 6 months ago. At first, we decided to play with friends. I was afraid at first because it is dangerous, but then I got used to it. When you're on a horse, it's a completely different experience. It is not for nothing that they say that a Kazakh on horseback never loses anywhere. In one of the game moments, Tauyekel fell from his horse and almost got a serious injury, but fortunately, he survived. Protection, which must be worn by all kokpar players, helped, even though it was 30 degrees outside. You can't go without a hat. It's protection because it's dangerous without it. On the legs, we also put on special protection. Jeans, boots are a must. Just now we've had a dangerous moment. It was Jibek. I fell and the horse ran over me and hit my head with his leg. That happens. I hurt my fingers, and these wounds came from that case. There's only one easing for the participants. In classic kokpar, you play 2 20-minute halves. Here, we decide to make a 15-minute half. All teams came to the capital of Kazakhstan, took care of transportation of their horses in advance. It might not be financially beneficial, but in many ways it is the horse that determines the success of the game of kokpar. Judge for yourself. The horse must have strong reactions, be massive, and be intelligent. This is quite serious. If the horse can make decisions, the rider has only to hold on tighter in the saddle. Am I right, handsome? The first official kokpar championship of Kazakhstan was held in 2001. Since then, tournaments are held every year. They're both for amateurs and professionals. The rules are not complicated. Each team has 12 players, 4 of which come onto the pitch, and the rest replace them during the game. To be successful in kokpar, you need to be agile, flexible, and physically strong. Judge for yourself. To win, you need to throw the carcass of a goat, which weighs on average of 35 kilograms, into the conditional gate. And there is one more important difference. Previously, they used Kazakh, which was half a meter high. In kokpar today, it has been replaced by such a circle. All this is done for safety reasons. Now, kokpar is developing under the supervision of the state, and this is a precedent. We're having championships among athletes of different ages. In the southern regions of the country, kokpar is a traditional sport and is very popular among the population. Our task is to develop kokpar all over the country. In Tajikistan, this game is called buskashi, in Uzbekistan, ulak, in Kyrgyzstan, kokporu. In 2017, kokpar was included in the list of the cultural heritage of UNESCO. For me, kokpar is a real man's game. There is adrenaline, there is a winning spirit. Any boy in kokpar becomes a man.
Говорят, трус не играет в хоккей. Я бы сказал, что в этом спорте тоже.
They say a coward doesn't play hockey. I would say a coward doesn't play kokpar. First, it takes courage. When 6 horses gather together, not everyone will be brave to get down on the ground to lift the carcass of a sheep.
Барана это не всякий сможет.
The team of star kokpar players from Almaty didn't have much at all to reach the finals, but in the decisive game for the bronze, luck was on their side. Tawyekel Muslim took the individual award of the best player in Jibek by the results of the tournament. We want to show that anyone who wants can get on a horse and play kokpar. I even want to advise men to get on horseback more often, because it helps all the male functions. So if you want to be healthy and strong, you have to get on a horse and practice. The tournament was a real challenge for the participants who passed the test of the weather and high loads with honor. Teams from Taras and Shymkent made it to the finals. In the decisive game, it seemed that there were no artists but professional players in kokpar in front of the audience. In the end, the best team was the team from Taras. The level of play is very good. Players have shown that they can be successful not only in their art. Therefore, I would like such a tournament to be traditional. This tournament for us is special because here are my colleagues from the field of art, people who are known for their creativity. The fact that they are actively involved in sport is inspiring. At the last World Kokpar Championship, which was also held in Nur-Sultan, among the participants there were teams from Hungary, Turkey, China, and even the United States. Now tournaments are also held among artists. We can say that Kokpar today is experiencing the second birth, becoming available to amateurs and popular far beyond Central Asia. Next in the episode, we will have an interview with Elmir Alimzhanov, the captain of Kazakhstan's fencing team. We will talk about his Olympic ambitions, life outside of sports, and family values. The national fencing team is one of the most successful teams in Kazakhstan. The men are consistently among the top 10 in the world rankings and regularly bring medals from the biggest competitions. Today, we will talk to the team's permanent captain and leader, Elmir Alimzhanov. Elmir is a representative of the famous Alimzhanov family. His father is a fencing coach, Eldar Alimzhanov, and his mother, Elina Alimzhanova, is president of the Association of Fitness and Aerobics of Kazakhstan. Elmir has been in the sport since he was 11 years old. He is one of the most experienced and titled athletes in the national team. Today, Kazakhstan is already in the top 10 of the world rankings, which means we've made a big step forward in recent years. Everyone is wary of our team because all the members of the team have different styles. Everyone is very strong individually. Each of our 4 members was a medalist in the Asian Championship, a medalist in the World Cup. The team is very strong. No team wants to compete with us because they know that we are unpredictable. Our team has good prospects and the team is young. How would you describe the atmosphere in the team? Some sort of interim period has passed. We have been playing in the same team for almost 10 years. Vadim Shalimov is the youngest, but he has been with us for 5 years. That is, the team is already complete. The most important thing is to have a team spirit. If we don't have it, it is very difficult. I'm amazed by the team of the USA. It is rather average by level if to speak about everyone individually, but when they act as a team, they beat their chest. They are real patriots. That is the spirit should be brought up. We try to support it. I think we will learn even better. And who in our team acts as Leopold the cat, which smoothes all the angles? I'm the oldest. As the team captain, I try to find an approach to everyone. When I see that someone is not in a good mood, I try to cheer him up. Somebody, on the contrary, needs to be calmed down. It's hard because the guys are all quite mature. Each one is a personality, a successful athlete. Let's name the talents of our team, besides their great fencing skills. We have Dima Alexanin. He's a musical guy, he can rap. He's always good with rhymes. Great, so when we meet him, we can ask Dima Alexanin to rap. Despite finishing the season in 10th place in the world rankings, the Kazakhstan national fencing team was unable to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. Only 8 teams are competing, the top 4 in the world ranking and the best from the regions, Asia, Africa, America and Europe. It is planned that at the Olympics in 2024, the list of participants will be expanded to 12 teams. Now, the coach of the team is Ferenc Totham. He is from Hungary. He worked for a long time as a coach in Hungary and coached the Danish national team. His trainee was a bronze medalist of the World Championship, and we invited him more than 2 years ago. His task is to bring our strong team together and direct it to high results. The difference is that everything in our fencing changes every year. The style changes and you have to be an expert in all styles. You have to know them all very well. Ferenc has traveled a lot. He speaks 5 languages and it's very easy for him. He knows modern fencing and he has great international experience. Our coaches are not worse, but they lack international experience. What are the most challenging opponents for Kazakhstan? We've won every team, but we've never defeated Hungary. At no competition. When Ferenc came to us at the first competition under his leadership, we beat the Hungarian team. Let me make it clear that this is a titled team. At the last Olympic Games, the Hungarians were bronze medalists. And in the individual competition, the Hungarian was the silver medalist. They didn't qualify for this Olympic Games either. The level of the teams that made it qualified to the Olympic Games is very high. Yes, the bronze medalists from the last Olympic Games. It's surprising, but those are the rules. And for the first time we won the Hungarian team. The Hungarians were shocked. They also know that we have never lost. We came to the next competition, again we won them. So our last 2 meetings ended in our favor. This is like Gus Hiddink leading the Russian national team and beating the Dutch team. Yes, something like that. Fencing, despite its elegance, is considered one of the most energy-consuming sports. The most important qualities for athletes are speed and agility. In 2016, the Austrian energy drink producers proved that the speed of the hit is second only to the speed of the flight of the bullet. Friends, what is fencing? Elmir Alimzhanov can give us the best answer to this question. We will dive in by looking at what a professional athlete has in his bag. Elmir, let's do a little unpacking. No problem. This is our training bag. For competitions, we take a big bag on wheels. For example, for competitions, we take several épées because they can break, stop functioning. I usually take 4 or 5 épées for an emergency. The main thing we have here is a fencer's mask. It completely protects against any hit. It withstands the power and it's almost impossible to pierce it. Do you get bruises from hits? Bruises are very common. At every training session we get bruises. I don't even notice them. I can't even remember when I got them. What kind of injuries are most common in fencing? Bruises, abrasions, skin tearing. We also have these jackets that protect you. They're made out of Kevlar threads, which are used to make body armor. They are tough, even though it's a lightweight suit. You can't pierce it. Even if you poke it with a knife, it won't be pierced. Both visually and tactilely, it seems like it's just a dense fabric that can easily be cut. Yes, it is a Kevlar material that even with a needle is difficult to stitch. You also have good genetics. Your father is a professional coach and your mother is linked to fencing in one way or another. My father has been involved in fencing since childhood and my mother has as well. I didn't have much choice what I would become. But I have no regrets because I love this sport. Even when my father made me go, I said to him that he didn't need to push me. I said that I would go anyway. My little brother was a fencer. He won the World Youth Championship. At first, my father tried to make him do it, and he didn't want to fence. He was into dancing and gymnastics. But anyway, my father persuaded him to fence, and my little brother achieved great results. But then he returned to dancing, aerobics, and gymnastics. If I may touch on the subject of your brother, he died in 2011. How did you survive that?
Ну, очень тяжело, конечно, было, потому что мы близки были, у нас небольшая разница в возрасте, там всего 1,5 года было.
It was very hard. We were close. We had a small age difference, only 1.5 years. When I was in the city, we always communicated, our families were friends. Of course, it was hard to go through it, especially for my parents. They lost their youngest son. I just had a competition. I was in Germany. When they told me about it, I took a ticket and flew away at once. I had a training camp before the competition, then we had to fly to Sweden for a training camp. I came to the funeral, then I left for the competition. I had no emotions there. It was hard. I was in sport all the time, and even in such moments, I had to come back. The life of Elmir Alimzhanov was cut short by a car accident in Almaty on May the 8th, 2011. Elmir wrote his name in the history of Kazakhstani sport by becoming the world champion among juniors and the silver medalist of the world championship among cadets. Once in 2005, my little brother and our father went to the world championship together. He was preparing him very hard for the competitions. As a cadet, he became the silver medalist of the World Championship. No one has ever achieved such a result in Kazakhstan. And all of us, even me, were shocked and realized that it was real. Before, we were always on the sidelines and then he won a medal, so everyone was just shocked. Before, we were always on the sidelines and then he won a medal, so everyone was just shocked. This is the gym where we trained. The next year, we went as a team and won gold. That motivated us as much as possible. We came and took first place at the World Junior Championships. Everybody there was shocked. We had never even been in the top 8. And then we took the first place. You could say your brother inspired you. He inspired me. After that, we had a lot of medals among adults. His medal gave us a start, and our medals also give motivation, inspiration to the young guys. As I see, you have a cold weapon in your bag, body armor. Have you ever had any problems at the airport? We've had. It often happens that we arrive at an airport where they haven't seen any fencers and they always ask what I have in my bag. They start calling somebody, asking, they start to panic. We explain that it's sports equipment. They still get nervous and call the management. There are often such cases. Where did you have the most problems? There was one such case. We flew to Korea via Thailand. We had a connection. I entered the plane and the radio announced that Elmir Alimzhanov should come to the desk. The whole team was there at that time. I went alone. They told me there was a sword in my luggage. I said there was no sword, there were épées. They came down to the plane, they took my bag out, and one man was filming the whole thing on the camera. They unpacked it slowly. They took out the épée, looked at me, I explained everything. They took a picture, realized everything was okay, and allowed me to go. Now you have a lot of experience. You've been in fencing for more than 20 years. The next Olympic qualification is in 4 years, even in 3 years. Will you be fighting for a license? Yes, I will. I think so. Now I feel that I'm still in good shape, nothing should stop me, and a long time ago I set myself a goal to win a medal at the Olympic Games. I'm striving for it. If I couldn't, I would have stopped long ago. Until what age are fencers able to perform at a high level? I can say that up to 40-42 years if an athlete is physically fit to perform. Considering that there are 2 days of competitions and they last from morning till night, you need to have stamina. When I watch the competitions, I notice that when the match is over, after the final hit, the athlete takes off his mask and he's just all wet. We have 3 rounds of 3 minutes each, 9 minutes of full fighting. Thank you very much for the interview. Thank you. Next in the episode, we will go to Kokshetau, where the best triathletes in Kazakhstan are training. In 2000, in Sydney, where the Olympic triathlon begins, Dmitry Gak, the native of Kokshetau, was 1 step away from the podium. He took 4th place. It is still the highest achievement of Kazakhstan's triathletes at the Olympic Games. This is the sportswear Dmitry wore at the 2000 Olympics. It was the first Olympics at which he participated after the World Championship in 1999, where he became world champion and went to the Olympics in 2000. That's all his equipment. He gave it to our school. In 1999, we started developing triathlon. For more than 30 years, it is developing here, and our school confirms its status as the best in Asia. The secret of the effectiveness of triathlon is the combination of loads. Running develops long and short muscle fibers. Swimming works on the beauty and functionality of the upper body. Cycling trains the lower part of the body. Speed, technique, and endurance are the 3 criteria for a triathlon. Training is high intensity, but loads are distributed throughout the body, so you can do a triathlon every day. We start recruiting children for the triathlon section from the age of 6, and we start teaching them swimming, general physical exercises, and developing exercises. That's all. For the next 4 years, if a child comes to the triathlon section, he will be doing only swimming and general physical exercises. When the child gets 10 years old, we start to include cycling gradually. Now, amateur triathlon has come to the fore in Kazakhstan. Hundreds of our citizens take part in Ironman and half-Ironman endurance races. Specialists say that amateur and professional triathlon are 2 parts of the same whole, but the difference between them is considerable. First of all, the distance is different. The times are different. The age categories are also different. In Ironman, those over 35 to 40 run. In the professional sport, participants should be below about 30 to 35 years old. That's the peak of the professional athlete. Then it is on the decline. One of the most famous Ironmen from Kazakhstan is Alexander Vinokurov. The Olympic champion in cycling managed to win titles in his age group at 2 world championships in France and Hawaii. Anyone can follow his example, but only after consulting a professional.
В первую очередь, проверьте свое здоровье. Самое главное. И если же вам...
First of all, check your health. If sports doctors allow you to do such exercises, then why not? Try it. Check yourself.
То тогда почему нет? Пробуйте, делайте, проверяйте себя.
On that note, we say goodbye to you. Subscribe to the Qazakh TV YouTube channel and follow us online.